All right, hi everybody, and welcome to Ages Cozy Crochet Corner. Today we're doing the Doris scarf. So this was a scarf that I developed in memory of my grandmom, and I wanted to do something simple that I can give her, and she can make for tons of us. Okay, because she would have been crocheting these for all of us for Christmas, and I wanted to bring it to you guys. So this comes in two different sizes and widths. Now, this is the shorter size and width, and this one is a little bit longer and it's a wider width. You can make it with tassels. You can connect the two pieces and turn it into an infinity scarf. So, I absolutely love this piece. It's very, very simple, very, very easy, and we're only going to be doing about 5 row repeat, and we're going to pretty much get right to it. All right, so see you guys at the table. Okay, so getting a closer look at the Doris scarf. You see, I have the two different sizes. So the only thing with this one, this width, the top one right here, and this is Aran Flex. I love this color. So this top one, the length is 74 and the width is 7 inches. Okay. And this one right here, the width on this one is 9 inches and the length is 78 inches. Absolutely love both of them, but I was starting to make the men's one hat and scarves, and so I wound up doing the shorter one for that and the wider one for some of the females, but I use them for both back and forth depending on what I want the set to look like, the overall view of it all. So we have the shorter one, and I'll give you the numbers for both of them as we start making, so you can determine if you want to make the one that's a little bit shorter by 4 inches, or if you want to make the longer one. So I just wanted to show you also the breakdown of the pattern. So we have a 5 row repeat. So we'll be doing 4 rows of half doubles and then a cable row. And matter of fact, let me show you on this color. We'll be doing 4 rows of half doubles, the cable, 4 rows of half double cable, 4 rows of half double cable. And no matter what width you decide to go with, even if you decide to go and make this wider, you're always going to end with your half double rows. That way evens it out on both sides. Okay, so we're going to go to a swatch, and I'm going to do a swatch to show you how to go back and forth and make this. Okay. All right, so as far as materials that we need, I'm using Burnett Super Value, and there are 440 yards here. Now, if I'm making the shorter one of 74 inches and with the width of 7 inches, then one of these will do, because it only takes about 260 yards in order to complete that one. Now, the longer one at 78 inches and length and width 9 inches, it takes about 520 yards. So I'll use two of these to make the wider one. Now, when I'm done with making the wider one, I always have enough left over for a hat too. So it's great. You can make a hat right along with it. Um, and that's why I fell in love with this pattern anyway, because, I'm in hat season. So I'm making my hats, and it's perfect to have enough left over. So definitely have two of these, or even like red heart. I only need two of those as well. Um, so regardless of what I'm doing, two skeins usually tend to be good. So the needle, the hook we'll be using, we're using a 5.5 millimeter hook. So we got our hook. Now this pattern works in multiples of 6. plus 3. So if you decide to go with a different length than me, then you would just either increase or decrease by 6. Okay, so put the numbers up. If you are going to work on the shorter one, then you are going to chain 210 plus 3. If you're going to do slightly longer one, you're going to chain 234 plus 3. Okay, so I want to be able to show you how to work your cable stitches, and I kind of want to work it through with you for the most part. So I'm going to chain this long enough for me to be able to have 5 cables to work with you. Now each cable is made over 6, and that's why our multiple is 6. Okay, and the plus 3 is because we're going to lose one on the turn, and we need one on each side, just as a standing stitch on each side. So you'll see. So I'm going to chain, let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 6. It's going to be one cable. 1 2 3 4 5 6. It's another 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. And my 1 2 and 3. Okay, so that'll give me enough to be able to work a good amount of cables with you. All right, so we're not going to go in that first chain from the hook. We're going to go into the second one. So we're going to yarn over, and we're going to go into that second one. Grab our yarn, pull up, and pull through all 3, making a half double. Okay, we'll be making half doubles all the way down the rest of the foundation chain. So yarn over, we're going to go into our next space, pull through. We have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to take off all 3. Yarn over, we're going to go into the next one. Grab our yarn, pull up, and pull through all 3. So we're going to continue going all the way down this line, making half double crochets. So I'm going into my last one in my foundation chain. Okay, now I'm going to chain 1, which I will do at the end of every row. Okay, and turn my work. Yarning over. Now we're going to make half doubles all the way down the same line, but instead of making it right here where you would normally make, we're going to do in the back loops only. So turn your work slightly to you so you can see the top of your work. Okay, so this is the side of your work. If it was laying flat, this is what you're looking at, but I want you to turn it up so you can kind of see the V's here. Okay, and I want you to just go into the first stitch. We're still working in that first stitch, and we're going to go in between and just catch the back loop. Grab our yarn, pull up, and take off the 3. So we're going to yarn over again. Looking at it from the top, we're just going to go into the back loop. Grab our yarn and take off all 3. We're going to do that again. Going to go through the top, just in the back loop, and take off 3. And again, back loop only. Grab our yarn and take off 3. And again, back loop only. Grab our yarn and take off 3. Now you can kind of see the front loop is left there, which causes it to have a little rise in definition right here. Okay, so we're going to continue just going into our back loops only, making our half doubles all the way down this row. Now I've come to the end of that row. I have one last stitch to go into. Now the last stitch on every row, instead of just going into that back loop, you're going to go into both of the loops. Okay, so last stitch on every row, you're going through both of the loops. Chain one, turn our work. Now this is going to be another row of half doubles. Yarn over. We're going into that first stitch. We're going to turn our work like this so we can see that V, and we're going to go in between and grab the back loop only. And make our half double. Yarn over, go in just the back loop and make our half double. And we're going to continue doing this all the way down to the end of this row. Remember, back loop only. So I am back at that last stitch again, and remember, for the last stitch we do not go into just the back loop, we go through both loops. Chain one and turn our work. Now our next row, which is our fourth row, is going to be another row of half doubles. So yarn over, we're going into our first stitch, back loops only, and putting half doubles and back loops only. Now I am back at my last stitch here, and remember, we're going in both, not just the back loop, both loops. Okay. Chain one. Now we're going to turn our work. Now we have 4 rows of half doubles. Okay, of course your rows will be much longer than this, but 4 rows of half doubles. Now going back into the first stitch, back loop only again, we're going to make a half double. Now we're going to begin our cable stitches. Okay, so looking at the next 6 stitches, 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, we're going to work our cable stitches over those 6 stitches. Okay, so we're not going to go in the first, the second, or the third. We're going to be going into the fourth, and when we go into the fourth, we will be going in it back loop only. So we're going to yarn over 2 times because we're going to be making treble stitches here. If you do not know how to do that, I want to show you slowly for the first couple of them. And again, we're going to yarn over 2 times because we're not making a double, we're making a triple. So we need to yarn over 2 times. You should have 3 pieces on your hook. Now again, we're skipping the first, the second, and the third, and in the fourth back loop we're going to go in grab our yarn and pull out. We're going to yarn over. We're going to take 2 off of our hook. We're going to take 2 more off of our hook, and we're going to yarn over and then take the last 2 off of our hook. So this is what your work should look like. Now we're going to make another treble. Now we're working in the 5th one out of the series of 6. So we're going to go into the back loop only, grab our yarn and come back up. And then we're going to yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2 again. So we're going to yarn over twice again. And in the 6th one out of that set, we're going to go back in, back loop only, pull up, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2. So we skipped the first 3 and we went to the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th. And now we're going to double back and come back to the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd one. Okay. So we're going to yarn over 2 times again. Now this time we're going to reach behind. So you're going to reach behind the treble stitches that you've already made. And we're going to find that first stitch that we skipped. And we're just going to go in the back loop only, okay? So we're going behind, and then you want to look at your work and go into that first one. Once I'm in there, I slightly turn mine to the back so I can see. And we're going to take off 2, take off 2, and take off 2 again. Yarning over twice. We're going to reach behind our work and we're going to find the second one that we missed. Okay, if you want to, if it feels better to look at it from behind when you get that, then you can do that. And now that we're through, we're going to take off 2, and take off our last set of 2. Yarning over 2 more times. We're going to find that last stitch that we skipped. And we're going to go in the back loop only. And we're going to take off 2, and take off our final 2. And this is what that first set of cables will look like. It will be the 3 in front and the 3 crossing over in the back. Okay. Now we're going to skip yarning over twice. We're going to work in the next 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we're going to work the next cable over these 6 stitches. So we're going to skip the first one, the second one, and the third one, and we're going to go into the 4th stitch, back loop only. I'm going to put a treble there. And then the 5th one in that set, we're going to go in, take off 2, take off 2, take off 2 again. Now we're working in the 6th one from that set. We're going to go in, take off 2, take off 2, and take off 2 again. And now we have to double back here, yarning over 2 times. I'm going to reach behind my work and find that first one that we missed, which is right here, and go in the back loop only. And I'm going to take off 2, take off 2, and take off 2 again. Reaching behind my work again, I'm going into the second one we skipped for my treble. Yarning over 2 times, going behind my work, and find the third one. I'm going to go in the back loop only and take off 2, take off 2, take off 2 again. And we've completed our next one. Mm. So working over our next 6, we're going to skip 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th, we're going to go in back loop only, take off 2, take off 2, take off 2 again, yarn over 2 times. In the 5th one, make our treble. The 6th one, take off 2, take off 2, take off 2 again, yarning over 2 times. We're going to reach behind our work, and we're going to go into the first one we skipped, take off 2, take off 2, take off 2 again, reaching behind our work, we find the second one, and reaching behind our work, we will find the third one, and back loops only for everything. Yarning over 2 times. We're going to skip 1, 2, and 3, and in the 4th one, we're going to go in and make our treble, first treble. Yarning over 2 times, we'll go in the next one and make a treble. Yarning over 2 times, we go in the next one and make a treble. Yarning over 2 times, we're going to reach behind and find the first one that we skipped. Make our treble. Reaching behind, we're going to find the second one that we skipped and make our treble. And reach behind and find the third one. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we're going to work over these 6, skipping the first 3 and the 4th one. We're going to make a treble. And in the 5th one, treble. And in the 6th one, treble. Reaching behind our work, find the first one we skipped and make our treble. And you're basically making your treble on back of your work. So once you find that space and you get it in there, just turn your work to the back because you're working it in the back. In the 3rd one, okay, and that was the last one for that row. I'm going to yarn over, and in that last stitch, just like all these other last stitches, we will not be doing back loop only. We will go through both loops. So we're going through 2 loops here for the last one, and we're going to make a half double. So half double in the beginning of our rows with our cable stitches, and half double at the end of those. Okay. And this is your repeat pattern for this scarf. So there will be 4 rows of half doubles, back loop only, and then your cables, back loop only. And then we are going to go back into 4 more half doubles, and then cable, 4 more half doubles, and then cable. We have 3 sets, well, 3 rows with cable in it, and then ending in this row. But I want to show you, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. I want to show you, make sure your placement going into each of these stitches is right before we go on. Now the number count did not change. The same number that you start with, -1, because like I said, we lost 1 on our turn because we skipped 1 off of our foundation chain. So the number does not change through any row. You should have the same number throughout all the rows. Okay. If you have chained 210 plus 3, then you should have 212 stitches in every row. If you have chained 234 plus 3, then you should have 236 in each stitches in each row. And if you have alternated and decided to do a different foundation chain, then whatever your foundation chain is minus the one from the plus 3, you should have that same number all the way up. So our first stitch, we're going to go back doing our half doubles. So half double, back loop only in our first stitch, and we're still turning it towards us so we can see the V's, and we can just put it in the back loop. Okay, so when you get to your cables, you want to make sure you go into the 3 here and then the 3 here. Okay, so we're going through every stitch down the row, back loop only. And if you need to space your cables out so you make sure you do not miss the middle stitch, just fan them out. So we'll be going to the top of every single stitch. Now these cross over and lay on top of each other. So when you get to a point where your stitches are laid on top of each other, just fan it out. And keep going all the way down. I tend to hold my cables apart in the back like this, so as I'm going down, nobody gets bunched up. And again, like I said, I use my finger to drag this set of 3 on the other side of that one. And all the way down, using your finger, just drag that, separate them. And don't forget, your last stitch will be a half double into both loops. Chain 1 and we'll turn our work. So we have managed to put the same amount here as we started with down here. So we lose nothing over our cables. So I don't want you to come out your cable and think you should have less than when you started. We're keeping in the same stitches the whole time. So now we've already put 1 row. We'll put 3 more rows of half doubles, and then we'll go back into our cables. And that is how we work up the whole entire scarf. Now I want to bring in this piece so we can look at it. Again, we have our 4 rows, cable, 4 rows, cable, 4 rows cable, and then at the end we put the 4 rows of cable to make, I mean 4 rows of half doubles to make sure we even it out on both sides. So again, you can go make this wider. If you want to make it wider, you would just, after this 4 rows, go right back to your cable, but always end with your 4 rows of half double, because that's what's gonna make it an even even on both sides. All right, so it's very, very simple. 5 row repeat, ending in 4 rows of half doubles. All right, so for the width of 7 inches, we're only going to be doing 2 rows of cable. So after you finish your second row of cable, you're going to do 4 rows of half doubles, and then you're done. If you want to make it the 9 inches, which is wider, then as you see, we'll be doing 1, 2, and 3 rows of cables, and then ending row of 4 half double rows. Okay, so that's the simplicity of this. It's a really quick and easy pattern. You zip through the rows with the half doubles, and you have to spend more time going back and forth with the cables, but it turns out very, very lovely. It works well with, like I said, with bridge hats or cable hats. It's just perfect. And or just to throw on. I wanted to show you how to do tassels if you wanted to work tassels. So I've been working on a piece. Let me see, where's my piece? Okay. I've been working on one in this lovely color here. Lovely, lovely color. And I'm going to show you how to put the tassels on here. Now, I have yet to weave in my beginning end and my ending end, because I'm going to feed them through with the tassels. Okay. So to begin our tassel making, we just have to find something that we want our length of our tassels to be. I am going to go with this book because I kind of want my tassels to be this length. All right. So I'm going to get the color I want my tassels to be, and I'm going to keep with the same color in which I'm already making the scarf out of. And I'm simply going to take my object, whatever you use, a CD case, cardboard, whatever you decide to use, and I'm going to simply wrap. And I'm going to wrap a lot because I want a lot of tassels. So don't worry about it, because we're using a method like this. You can always go back and make more, and they'll all be the same exact size. I already know I want a lot, so I'm just gonna make a lot. Grab my scissors. Now, once I've finished wrapping as much as I want to, I'm gonna cut my yarn at the bottom. Now I'm going to take and hold all of this, and I'm going to cut my yarn right at the edge of the book. Done with that. All right, tassels, okay? So all of those are tassels. Only thing I have to decide is how many I want to put on each one. So I'm grabbing 2. I think I'm going to wind up putting 3 on each one. It's about preference. So you can do it however you want to do it as far as how many you use, because once you fold it over, the 2 then becomes 4. Okay. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to go through here because I'm going to incorporate this in with my tassels. So I'm going to go through wherever I want my tassels to go, and I'm going to pull my yarn through. Now pull my yarn through enough for me to get my fingers inside. And then I'm going to go and grab the yarn that I want. Now, seeing as though I want to incorporate this in here so it lock it on, I'm just going to grab all of that. And I'm just going to pull it tight. And you have tasselage. It's on there. That's done. So I'm going to grab 2 more. And I'm going to work my opposite end. Folding this over. I'm going in where I want my tassels to go. Grabbing my yarn and pulling it out. Now remember, I want this ending string to go with me. So I'm going to pull that on out too. And just pull it tight. And from there, you're just going to plant your tassels wherever you want them to be. You can have a lot or a little bit. I'm going to go through where I want my tassel to be. Grab that, pull it through. Put my little fingers in there and grab the string and pull tight. Let's do another one. I'm doing them where the cables are right now. So I want my tassel to go here. So I'm going to go through, grab a few of them, fold them in half, put them on my hook, pull them through, and that's it. Okay. And so I'm going to keep just placing tassels wherever I think I would like it. And I will do the same on the other side. And I will show you this finished piece. And oh, there you go. Oh, love that. I will show you this one when it's finished as well. Okay. Now remember, when I added this additional piece, if you do the same, just make sure all you have to do is come in and cut it to the same size as the rest of the tassels. This one fell a little short of the length of the other ones, so that's fine. I don't have to play with that. So again, I'm gonna finish putting my tassels on this one, and I'll show you the outcome of it. All right, everybody, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. This is a quick one, and it goes with cable hats, ribbed hats, so you're able to use 2 different style hats, and it'll work perfectly with, and I'm sure you'll find tons of other things to work it in. So thank you for joining me for this tutorial. Subscribe if you like this video. Let me know you like it by pushing the button, and I'll see you next time on AJ's Cozy Crochet Corner.